I want to bring in former Maryland Republican governor, two-term governor, and currently the Republican nominee for the United States Senate, Larry Hogan. Governor, it's great to see you. You're in our Washington, D.C. bureau. My first question is, why aren't you here in Milwaukee?
Well, there aren't a whole lot of undecided Maryland voters out there in Milwaukee, and that's what we're really focused on, is trying to win votes here in Maryland.
And to that effect, Governor Hogan, helpful or not helpful to have former President Trump's endorsement?
Well, it wasn't that helpful for me. President Trump lost Maryland by 33 points, so I ran 46 points ahead of him. It was not something we asked for, but that's really not impact. I'm out there talking to Maryland voters. It doesn't have much impact at all.
How about this weekend? The events of this weekend. You have, for weeks throughout your candidacy, been talking about the necessity in this country to bring the partisan temperatures down. I imagine you feel that even more profoundly as a result of the events this weekend.
Well, Major, this is something that I've actually been talking about for many, many years. And, I've been talking about it everywhere I could to anyone who would listen. The events that just took place with the attempted assassination of the former president kind of brings to a head all of that concern about the kind of angry, toxic politics, the divisive rhetoric, and about how important it is to lower the temperature. And I'm glad to hear that now both President Biden in his Oval Office address, and I understand President Trump is going to change his remarks to try to talk about some of these concerns that I've been espousing for a long time. I actually literally have been focused on this as my primary passion for several years now.
Governor Hogan, as a Republican seeking a Senate seat in the state of Maryland, how do you react to the inclusion of Ohio Republican Senator J.D. Vance on President Trump's ticket? He is regarded as someone who not only speaks the MAGA language, but does so with an aggression that former President Trump likes. Are you comfortable with that pick?
Well, I don't know J.D. Vance. We've never met. I think the two of us have pretty different views of the world. I certainly thank him for his military service. And look, I think we were just talking about the need for people to do away with the divisive rhetoric and to lower the temperature. I think that goes for President Biden, President Trump, and certainly J.D. Vance. I think we got to, instead of just mentioning one time, we're going to start lowering the temperature, and we're going to talk about trying to use less angry and less divisive rhetoric. I think that's what we've got to see continuing throughout the rest of this campaign.
Former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, current Republican candidate for the United States Senate, we thank you very much for your time.